Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. This is Sean, and we haven't had a trailer since that giant barrage of trailers we had at San Diego Comic Con. And we've done some other ones, some smaller ones via the Stardust app, but for the most part, we haven't had a big one worth doing. So we got one today called Molly's Game. It's Aaron Sorkin's directorial debut, and he's written a bunch of stuff, but this is the first time he's directed, and it's got Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, that kind of stuff, and it's nice to see them dive into the poker world. I know there's a lot of big games around the world, especially in Los Angeles, because of the money that's there and stuff. But it's not the only big poker game in Los Angeles or around the world, for that matter. Nor is it the only illegal one. So I'm interested to see what this is. What this is gonna encapsulate. I'd like to see them do a proper poker game movie. So here it is, Molly's Game.
I'm Molly Bloom. Do you know about me?
I read your indictment after I got your call last night, and I bought your book.
Okay.
Do you understand that you were charged with operating an illegal gambling business?
Yes.
Are you taking me on as a client?
I don't think I can convince my partners to take a flyer on the Poker Princess.
If you think a princess can do what I did, you're incorrect. I'm getting that you don't think much of me, but what if every single one of your ill-informed, unsophisticated opinions about me were wrong?
Damn.
Amazed.
This is a true story, but except for my own, I've changed all the names.
And Molly, my weekly poker game is moving to the Cobra Lounge. You'll help run it.
Okay.
I was in a room with movie stars, directors, and business titans. They were going all in, all the time.
Thank you, Molly.
For deep money.
I'm gonna stop paying you as my assistant.
You firing me?
I'm not firing you. I'm just gonna stop paying you. You get paid once a week from the game. It doesn't seem fair.
You're gonna stop paying me because I'm making too much money doing my second job, and if I say no, I'll lose both jobs because it doesn't seem fair?
You don't have bargaining power here.
You are
Yes, she does.
unimportant.
You know how many witches were burned in Salem?
How many?
None. They didn't burn witches, it's a myth. They hanged them. The humiliation had given way to blinding anger at my powerlessness. I wasn't gonna wait before I put a plan in place. I'll be hosting a game in this suite every Tuesday night. First buy-in, 250,000.
That's gonna make noise.
Let's play.
He spent
And we're
8
going
years in
deep.
Hollywood and 2 years in New York running the world's most exclusive and decadent man cave.
Have you seen the other names in your indictment? Come on, Marty, just how deep into the Russian mob were you?
Your exposure's crazy.
You got 2.8 million on the street right now.
You're gonna get blown up.
You managed to build a
Wow.
multi-million-dollar business using not much more than your wits.
I'm about to be charged in federal court.
Well, nobody's perfect.
There's a new offer on the table. Complete immunity. We hand over the hard drives.
You've seen what's on those hard drives. Families, lives, careers will be
No.
ruined.
Why are you in this alone? Where are the people you're protecting by not telling the whole story?
I'll tell them everything they want to know about me. About me. That's it.
Took one for the team. Nice. So I actually have heard stories of this game through. I played a lot of poker whatnot for a while. I'm gonna turn this down because it's gonna make me crazy. I played a lot of online poker until the federal government decided that it was illegal. That's another story for another time. But I was really into the poker, learning about the game itself, but also learning about the stories like this, and the Beal Bank guy who would go to Vegas and bet a couple $1 million and heads up games versus all the pros, and the celebrity games that they used to hold, were a bunch of other. It was another LA game that had a bunch of celebrities that came in and played, and it's interesting to tell these stories from a perspective of they weren't really doing quote unquote wrong. I mean, it's illegal. It's obviously illegal to have games like this that aren't regulated. However, they're not really doing anything wrong. What became wrong was the money laundering that could happen, or the Russian mob stuff, or security issues, that kind of stuff. That's really what's wrong when it comes to. But the game itself was a pretty impactful game. It had big time business people, big time actors in it, and huge amounts of money were being thrown around at this game. And she would take a take. She would be the house, and the house would take a certain percentage off of each pot that's played. And if you get to play games at that level, the house on each hand's making $10,000. Well, if you play $200 or 200 hands in a night, that's $2 million, $200,000. So it's interesting that they're going to take the angle of the game itself wasn't wrong, and I really love seeing that, because for a long time the federal government has said how damning gambling is. Gambling itself, controlled, is not wrong. It's those who are excessive with it. And you can be excessive with everything: cigarettes, alcohol, caffeine, shopping, that kind of thing. That's my little rant. I'm trying not to rant, but because this is about her story and about her essentially taking one for the team and not giving up the names and the money amounts and stuff like that, it shows that they could trust her to run this big of a game. So it looks really, interesting. Jessica Chastain. We've talked about this before. I have a thing for redheads, so I'm going to, of course, love her. And she looks awesome as this kind of haughty business tycoon, because that's kind of what Molly was. She was a young girl running this game. Oh, young girl. She was in her mid-20s. But she was a young girl running this game with all of these bigwig people, and they all respected her, which was cool. Idris Elba as the lawyer, defending Molly, what looks kind of interesting. It's kind of an interesting pick. Not that I'm opposed to it. I love Idris Elba. That's just not something he normally plays, right? Which is cool. Which is cool that they're doing that. I hope they don't do the cliche kind of, everybody was all like Casino Royale. Everybody's all in, and this guy hits a full house, and this guy has 3 of a kind, and this guy's got, hits a backdoor, straight flush, whatever, that kind of thing. I hope they don't do that part. The poker game itself, I hope they keep as the second, as the piece that keeps the story going, and actually tell the story of all the stuff that goes on around the game of poker. Poker is such a game of chance, but it's a ton of skill. It's almost all skill. We were watching a poker show last night, and it was they were talking about the cards didn't matter. He could have 2 napkins, and he was playing the player, and the cards had nothing to do with what was going on. That's poker. So I hope they keep that part kind of secondary and more tell the story of Molly and the game itself. And that would be kind of cool. But, Aaron Sorkin's first directorial thing, it looks pretty cool. He's written a whole bunch of stuff. Moneyball, Social Network, The American President, which is one of my guilty pleasures on the entire planet. But what do you guys think? I obviously think it looks pretty good, very stylized, and it looks like they're going to tell the story the way it needs to be told, which is poker's not the bad thing, but the way it was gone about was the bad way. That's what I want to say. So what do you guys think? Like this video, leave us a comment, tell us what you think of this. You can get a hold of us also on Facebook at the Pop Culture Cult. We're also PopCultureCult1 on Instagram, and we're at pop_cult1 on Twitter. We're also on Stardust. You can get it from the iOS or Google Play Store. We're the Pop Culture Cult. Please download the app. set up your account and like Pop Culture Cult first. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel and view all the videos as much as you can. We're trying to push to get to that next level. And tell all your friends. Till next time, good afternoon now.